Hey everyone, Nigel here, thanks for tuning in. Before we begin, please don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that subscribe button down there, and if you haven't already, have a look back on the channel. There's lots of reviews, builds, how-tos, modifications. Try to focus on tips and stuff for beginners, and yeah, so have a look through your boots. There's plenty to see, and I put a lot on every week. Today we're going to have a look at this high quality super detail set from HGW. It's an all-encompassing set for the Wingnut Wings 1/32 scale Gotha G.IV bomber from World War One. You'll hear a lot of people say you don't need this for a Wingnut Wings kit, and agreed. Wingnut Wings kits are incredible. They're, in my opinion, I've just got into them. I'm becoming a bit of a fanboy. They're up there with Tamiya, if not better. I don't know. They're bloody incredible, and the builds I've seen, and from what other people say in their reviews, they've got such a following, and I just can't wait for that Lancaster to appear. So yeah, they're awesome, but you know, manufacturers have to manufacture kits, and they make injection molded parts that will never ever as accurately replicate folded sheet metal fabrications or thin metal castings or whatever like photo etched brass will. So basically these sets, you know, you have to look at what they cost, what the kit costs, what is the value in it for you, and make your own mind up really. Certainly with some kits, like some of the older trumpeter stuff and stuff and Airfix, you'll often get these photo etch sets that correct things, but it does seem that these days a lot of the photo etch stuff you get is just adding to the kit. It's like you'll see where I've done the Model Collect B2. The front nose gear bay is the wrong length. It's too short. It needs to be extended so that it goes back behind the zigzag edge to the back of the gear bay. Now Etched have made the panels to fit that gear bay as the kit supplies, whereas what they should do really is give you an alternative to have a longer gear bay so you can make it more accurate. But then, you know, how many modelers want to go to all that fuss? But if you look back to the old F105, is it F105? Yeah, the F105 Wild Weasel from Trumpeter, the cockpit was too high, so Etched told you to take all the mountings away for the cockpit, and then they gave you parts to remake the mounting so the cockpit sat lower down, and they don't seem to do that sort of thing anymore, at least not in the kits I've looked at. But anyway, I digress. So this set here, it consists of 5 sheets of photo etch, 1 sheet of belt material, and 1 sheet of photo etch of masks, and then on the back here we've also got a sample set of some transparent decals for you to try out. Now in the set there are 215 photo etch parts, 28 belt parts, and 18 masks. So I do know for a fact that all of this, all the masks and this photo etch parts and everything, they fit the kit beautifully. Later on in the review I'll tell you where to go, and you can actually see these parts actually fitted to the kit. So without further ado, let's get this package open, and we'll see what's inside. So once we get the packet open, we can see here what we've got within the bag. We've got basically 2 cards with everything stuck to it, which keeps it all nice and flat. There's 5 sheets of photo etch, as you can see here. We've got 1 sheet of fabric seat belts, which are the older style now. If this is new to you, then these days they come pre-cut, die cut, so all you've got is 2 little tabs you've got to cut off, just like photo etch. Whereas in the olden days, this is a 2013 set, you had to actually cut them out of the fabric yourself. It's not so much of a problem, you know, they're laid out such that you could, you know, cut them out quite easily. More of that later. We've got a set of masks here, which is a nice addition. And down in here, HGW are giving you a free tester decal. Some have the lozenge decal, some have the wood grain. I think it's random. I kind of wish I had the wood grain, but this will come in handy for the interior of something. I know some of the D7s I think had the lozenge effect on the inside of the canvas in the cockpit. So well, it was lozenge effect canvas that you could see through. So you would have to use this and put a fading over it, I guess. I'm not a World 1 expert. This is all new to me, as I say. I'm a bit late to the game. I've been caught by the bug. Many years ago when it first came out, I bought the Gotha, and then a couple of years later I wanted to buy a sports car, and I sold pretty much everything I owned to raise enough money to buy this bloody sports car, and pretty much regretted it ever since on quite a few things. But slowly but surely I'm getting those things back. Having said that, I've just had to pay twice as much for this Gotha kit that I paid for it when I sold, well, I got for it when I sold it back in, I think it was 2013. Enough of that. So yeah, there we are. Let's have a look at this this set. We've got also a load of instructions. You get little coloured instruction set for the belts, masks, machine guns, engines, and then we've got the A4 sheet for the interior and the A4 sheet for the bomb racks. So let's have a look at this in a bit more detail. Right, I'm going to apologise up front here. I'll start by apologising. My lighting is not the best, and as a result, as some of you have seen if you've seen my reviews before, trying to film what I do with photo etch, reflections are a pain and I don't know how to get around it. I do need to buy some new lighting. I'm looking around, I don't really know what to get. If you know, if you sort of make these videos yourselves, maybe you could give me some advice. But yeah, the reflection I get back off the photo etch is a proper pain. It's even like if you get like a glossy manual like you get in a model collect kit, it's an absolute nightmare. So right, we'll start with 132088. This is obviously made by Etched, as you can see. It's the typical Etched format. I don't know if HGW models are a part of Etched or if they're just in bed together. I know they're both from the Czech Republic, but yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to do a bit of research on that. So we can see here what they're doing is they're telling you to make the bombs up, remove the straps that are moulded on, as you see for these 3 types of bombs here. And what we're doing is we're going to make up the racks, replacing some plastic kit parts. We're going to use some 1mm rod, so you need to get some 1mm rod if you're going to be using this set. We've got to remove some detail here. It looks like that's on the part that's going to mount to. So yeah, I haven't looked at the instructions to see how this goes yet, but basically we're replacing kit parts with photo etch, which is always a good thing, especially as the bomb racks would have been made from you know, fabricated or very, very thinly pressed steel or aluminium, something like that. So yeah, replacing plastic parts that represent metal parts with metal is always a good thing, normally. So right, let's have a look at the brass. It's the old, as I say, it's an old 2013 set, so it's got this nickel plating on it. And as I said, the problem I have with the reflection with the light is just a nightmare. So if we look at this close up, we can see, if we look here, the detail, the etch detail is just wonderful. So these obviously fold in half to give you the etched detail on either side. And then we've got these parts here which fold in half, and they're obviously going to become the actual mounting the bomb sits on. And yeah, there's the different types of racks here. These have the single straps, these have the double straps. So yeah, there's what is there on here? 30 parts in all, I think I counted about 30 parts. Then I may have counted these separately. Nope, there are 30 parts. So yeah, so there you can see that one, and the etched detail in there. I'll catch it in the light. It's just it's really, really nice. Under a coat of paint, a thin coat of paint, it's going to look amazing. So that's the bomb racks they call it, not the bomb bay. Right, moving on now to the machine guns. You can see here again this is all Etched. This is 132094. I forgot to say as well, although I'm reviewing this as a set, all of these individual items are available singly, but I saw this online at Hannant's, and the price was so good I just thought I might as well just buy the whole set, because, you know, for instance, these jackets here, they come with the kit. Do you really need them? I'm not sure. I don't think you do. I mean, they're photo etched brass replacing photo etched brass. I'm not sure that there's anything wrong with the kit parts, but you certainly don't get all this in photo etched brass in the kit. So, you know, if this is all going to look much better than the moulded plastic, if the plastic parts are a bit overscale, then I'm sure it's worth doing. But to be honest with you, you know, from what I'm hearing about Wingnut Wings, the parts in the kit are probably good enough. But then when you look at stuff like this and this handle and the machine gun, the bullets, you know, you're not going to represent that in plastic as well as you are with this. I don't care how good you are at moulding plastic, you're not going to represent parts like that as well as you are here. So looking at this one, this is about 59 parts on here, and you can see the phallic symbol. Oops. And here's the jackets, the machine gun cooling jackets. I'll try and show you the kit parts. I don't want to get this bag open, but if you look here, that's the parts that they give you in the kit, and that's the parts they give you on the fret. So I don't know, maybe the holes are finer, I don't know. Either way, you're going to have a lovely set of spare jackets for your machine guns. So here's the ammunition, all finally done, and then little bits and pieces of mounting brackets and levers and stuff. You know, things like these sights, I think you get those with photo etch in the kit, but yeah, all of this here will all be moulded in plastic, so this should be a definite improvement over the kit parts. I mean, if it was something like Trumpeter or Hobby Boss, without even looking at the kit, I'd say this will be an improvement. But Wingnut Wings are that good, I'm not so sure. But like I say, there's no way you're going to replicate stuff like this with plastic as well as photo etch is going to do it. And then while we're staying on this card, this is a close-up of the tester transparent deco they give you. I had a quick look on the bag, and it talks about you have to paint the colour underneath that you want to show through because they're translucent. And also they make a big fuss about using these, the Mr. Mark Softer and the Mr. Mark Setter. They're Guns products, Mr. Hobby products. I've used the HGW decals on the Tamiya Mosquito, the stencil decals, and they're the ones that you actually put them down like normal decals, but then after a couple of hours you rub them with water again and peel the front off, so you get no carrier film whatsoever. They are incredible, but they absolutely insist use this. Don't use anything else, only this. So I look forward to trying these out. Okay, interior. Always the nicest part of a photo etch set, I think. This is a 50 part set, so again, can be bought individually, you don't have to buy this whole set. So they're giving you some detail here for some gauging, panels for the inside of the fuselage, more on that in a second. Then you've got some throttle controls, which, however good you are at moulding plastic, they're going to look better. This looks like probably some sort of rudder pedal controls, some nicely detailed frames to go around some gauging there. Then we've got a load of parts for the instrument panel. They're telling you to remove the detail off the instrument panel and use their parts. That would have to be seen. They're telling you to use the kit decals by the look of it on the photo etch parts. So you're going to fold up this one here, replace that lump of plastic, put the decal on it, and then put that on top of the decal. I don't know why you wouldn't just sand that off, put the decal on, and then put that on after. So I don't know why they've gone to all that trouble. But anyway, I never much like to look at these folded up sections. But anyway, that's what it is. So you can take your choice. But for me, I would sort of sand the front of this off if the detail's not good enough, or if the etched metal is better. sand the front of the lump off, just take the layer off, or even just carve it off gently with a knife, and then use one disc of that folded up section and glue it on top. And the same here, just take the front off, just take the detail off, and erase detail, put the decal on, let it all settle down, put a coat of clear over it, and then glue that on with some white glue, if that's actually necessary. And same here, same with all of them. Bit unusual that, anyway. And then we've got the same down here, some more replacements for the gauges, and there's a ring around with a compass or something. And yeah, stuff like that's always very nice. And then we've got these guards on the side. Now, without doing any full research, I'm not sure if these guards are there to protect debris flying off the propellers, because the machine gunner sits in here. This is the top of the fuselage. The machine gunner sits in here. I'm not sure if these guards are to protect debris flying off the propellers from hitting the machine gunner, or if they're for rails to prevent the machine gunner shooting his own propellers off, because the propellers are right here. So I don't know which is which. Perhaps you can tell me in the comments. But they're giving you replacement parts for this. You've got a choice. You can use this one here or this one here, and you get the choice in the kit. Now the kit gives you these photo etch parts here, and you can see they're fairly coarse, particularly this one. It's a fairly coarse zigzag pattern on there, almost like chain link fencing. But then when you actually look at the parts you get with the HGW set, it's a lot finer. Now, I've had a very quick look. I mean, I've got a couple of books. I've had a very quick look through my references, and every one I've looked at, they don't even have these on. So I don't, maybe the machine gunners took them off. Maybe it was like a manly thing, you know, bloody guards to cover propellers, I don't need them, take them off. And maybe it allowed the gunner to get more angle downwards or on his machine guns. So they probably shot their own wings a few times without them. But anyway, by the by, and here we can see the interior panels. I'll show you why we've got those in a minute. And then we've got the various little bits of photo etch going on now for the instrument panel and the gauges and stuff. And there's little throttle levers. What I always do with these, little tip, when you fold the ends over, I always just dip them in white glue, and it gives them a kind of, it gets rid of the gap between the two parts, and it kind of gives it, rather than looking like two bits of photo etch metal glued together, it kind of looks like I don't know, like a Bakelite covered sort of knob, if you like, rather than just two bits of photo etch metal glued together. And there's more parts of the throttle assembly there. Sorry, I had to stop there for a minute. Yes, my bloody cough is still going. Anyway, so these panels, they fit lovely. If you go onto Scalemates and look for reviews of the Wingnut Wings Gotha kit, sorry, you will see that there is a review of the kit by a site called Model Web, and it's a Czech site, and they've done a review of the kit. You have to use the Google Translate to translate it all if you don't read Czech. But he's also done a review of this set, not a video, just a photographic review, and he's actually fitted some of the parts, and you can see that these parts fit into the fuselage beautifully. And I think the reason they've done it is because Wingnut Wings have, I don't think they do this these days, but this is one of their first kits. They've got a lot of ejector pin marks in between the framework in the nose. Now, when you actually look down through the nose, I'm not sure how much you're going to see anyway, but rather than have you struggle with trying to get all that off and hide it, they've given you these panels to cover them up. Now, you're going to have to sand them off anyway, and they are very, very, I mean, they're raised, but they're ridiculously fine. So I would imagine a Flory skinny sanders or skinny sanding sticks of anyone's manufacturer in there are going to do a beautiful job of getting rid of them. So you may not even need those photo etch panels, but if you do, have a look on that Scale Model website, on the Model website on Scalemates, and you'll see how beautifully they fit. So yeah, well worth having. And so moving on now to the engines, another sheet of etched brass, and this has got 42 parts on it, most of which are ignition wires and pipework, as you can see. Something I've done in the past, if you're going to use these photo etch parts, is dip them in some clear, or I guess you could use Johnson's Future. It takes away the flat appearance, it gives them a sort of rounded edge. The other thing I've done is coated them in gloss paint after I've put them on, and then painted them after, and it takes away that flat edge. You may just want to use wire and use these as a template to make the wire, but sometimes you'll find, like particularly with these bits here, you know, they've got the ends on them that go on, and you may find that in real life that is actually like a cap that goes on. It's not just a piece of wire disappearing into a hole. So sometimes they have their uses, other times just replace them with wire. We've got these rings here, as you can see, that go on the front of the crankcase. They're obviously not moulded in the kit. Some placards which go, as you can see from the instructions, it's saying to put the placards on the engines and then put the kit decal over the top. So obviously lots of decal set on that, and then they'll conform down, and you'll get the etched effect coming through the decal. So that'll look really good. As long as it all lines up properly, it'll look brilliant. Here we can see the mask set. Not really much to say about a mask set, but they're die cut. I don't know if you can catch that in the light. Yeah, they're die cut. You know, they're going to be typical Edard masks. Really, really good. Again, if you look at that model web on the Scalemates kit review, you'll see he's fitted these into his clear parts. They fit perfectly. So yeah, great job. So yeah, they're giving you masks here for the wheels, masks for the propeller hubs, which would be handy. Worth keeping those afterwards if you can, because quite often you need circular masks for stuff. And then the window masks inside and outside, which I said from looking at our model website are lovely. And then we're going to move on to the seat belts. Now they give you this piece of skinny paper, blank on the back. They're showing you here that anything in red is photo etched, anything in blue is textile. If you want to pause that, you can have a read of that. It's basically telling you how to do it. Be careful with what glues you use. I've made the mistake before with these things and used, I think it was super glue, and it kind of soaks through and makes the right mess and ends up glossy and stuff. Another time I've done them, I used tiny pieces of double-sided tape, and that worked really well. I think that was on a fairy swordfish, and that worked really well. So yeah, but they're telling you to use white glue. So I think when I do these, I'll try that with white glue. Perhaps let the glue go a bit thick, so it's not too wet. What you have to avoid is anything soaking through and going glossy. So yeah, we've got the gunner's belts there and the pilot's belts there, and so we can see what we're looking at. Let's look at the photo etch first. Just look at those buckles. You could probably make these things work if you wanted to. They are beautifully etched, tiny little belts. This one's saying 2012, so that's even older. And then, like I said earlier, you've got this sheet of belts here, which is basically a sheet of fibrous material. You basically cut them out, scrunch them up in your fingers to get the flatness out of them, and then they will literally lay wherever you want to put them. And you just put them on the seats, bang them, lock them in place with a little bit of white glue or something, and they're lovely. If you're an experienced model, you've probably already used them, but here you can see it's a kind of, it's like the material you get if you buy a shirt. If you buy a shirt, of course you buy a shirt, you wear clothes. When you buy a shirt, in the back, the label in the back of the machine with the washing instructions on, it's kind of similar to that. It's nice stuff. You can get the RB belts as well, which are like a blotting paper. Each have got their pros and cons. I think these are nice because they're printed. I don't know. The other thing I've noticed now is Edard have started doing a lot of seat belts, and they make a big fuss about them being steel. They make, you know, such and such P47 132nd seat belts, steel in capital letters. Can somebody please tell me what the fuss is about? Because I've always thought these photo etch, when you get photo etch belts with the printing on them, they're bloody awful, because as soon as you start moving them, the paint starts flaking off, and you get the shiny metal edge, and you have to paint them up, and then you have to sort of treat them afterwards where the paint's flaked off, and you can't anneal them. And I've always thought they're a bit junk. I've always preferred these, but now there seems to be this latest thing is steel belts. So if somebody can please tell me in the comments the big fuss about it, or link me to somewhere they tell you how good they are, then I'd be interested to know. So there we go. Rant over. That's the review of the 132096 HGW Super Detail set for the Wingnut Wings Gotha G.IV. As I said, I got this one from Hallants. It's available direct from HGW, and they're on eBay and everywhere. And as good as Wingnut Wings kits are, you know, can you really improve on them? Of course you can, because Wingnut Wings kits are made of plastic, and you can't make everything out of plastic, and the kit manufacturers can't give you all the photo etch that you need, because they'd cost 3 times more than they do already. So, thanks for watching, and like I say, please like or dislike, and leave any comments below. And like I say, please tell me about these steel belts, what the big fuss is. I want to know, and if they are that good, I'll maybe try some and review them. Anyway, thanks for your time. I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.